رتل قرآنك جوده وتدبر فيه ووقره فثواب الحرف به عشرا وبه الرحمن جزاء أجرا.
This is lesson 2, and we are going to discuss a topic called merging, or in Arabic called idgham. So as we agreed, idgham is the scientific name and merging is my translation, so it can be some other things. I got the question, is it possible to get the audio of lesson 1? I think we recorded it. Well, I need to check with the guys, so if it's possible, we can send. I don't have a problem with that, as long as it is confidential for the people in the course, because, yeah, at least for now. So we can discuss this, inshallah. We are going to discuss merging, and we are going to discuss the first kind of rules for the stable noon and tanween. The outline today, inshallah, we're going to discuss 3 topics. 2 of them will be quick. The last one will take some time. The first one is the rule of Meem and Noon, where we have Shaddah. And the second one is merging, or idgham, as a general rule, and special type of idgham when it goes into the stable noon and tanween. So the first, we're going to go over the Meem and Noon, which are very important letters when it comes to Tajweed. They have their own rules. So when they have Shaddah, like this, in the Quran, whenever you find, this is like a general rule, it has no exceptions. Whenever you find Noon with Shaddah and Meem with Shaddah, and it is in the middle of the word, like you are pronouncing Noon or Meem with Shaddah, you have to make something we call ghunna. I translate to English to tone, but like if you can translate it to something else, but for now we are going to call it a tone. So I have to perform a tone in my Meem and Noon. We will have an example just to show. This is very common, Surah An-Nas, right? And here we have Noon with Shaddah. So Noon with Shaddah, I will not say برب الناس. I will not say قل أعوذ برب الناس. I need to say قل أعوذ برب الناس. See what I did? برب الناس. See the external sound that I made? This we call it tone. And this one, particularly the Noon and Meem with Shaddah, we call it complete tone because it is the longest tone that you can give or you can perform for a single letter. This is the longest tone. برب الناس. And people ask, is there another kind of tone that's a little bit shorter? Yeah, we will come to that inshallah next lesson. But for this lesson, Noon and Meem with Shaddah, it is the longest tone that you can perform. Again, قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. So in every Noon with Shaddah or Meem with Shaddah, will come the next example inshallah, we have to do this tone, do this ghunna. In Arabic it's called ghunna, and it's a must in these cases. Next example, ثم لترونها عين اليقين. So here Meem with Shaddah, here Noon with Shaddah, we have to do this tone, we have to do this extra sound. Don't say ثم لترونها عين اليقين. This is reading like Arabic. If you read Arabic, you can say this. ثم لترونها عين اليقين. But when you read Quran with Tajweed, this need to have a tone. ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم. See, Meem Shaddah, Noon Shaddah, Noon Shaddah. All these we need to perform the tone. Here, فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية. فأما وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية. You always when you find me in Shadda and Noon Shadda, we perform this, inshallah. So this is the first important information that I need to get out of this lecture. Meem and Noon with Shadda, very important to do this tone. Yeah, anywhere, inshallah, in the book. And then we go to the next sort of information that I need to give today. It's called merging or idgham. If someone has a question for the next part, the last part, please let me know. So, what is merging or idgham? In Arabic, idgham means that you put two things into one thing, like putting your sword into its case. They do like this, or putting your horse head into like its rope or something like that. So putting two things into each other so they become one thing. So what's happening in idgham or in merging, that we put two letters into each other so they become one letter. So what is idgham? Is merging two letters so they become one. When do we do idgham? When the first letter is stable. If you go to the last lecture, we found we defined the stable letters called stable, like sukun, harf sakin. And the second letter is a moving letter. Moving letter means it has fatha, dhamma, or kasra. And this is not applicable for the complete set of letters that we have, the 28 letters that we have. We don't apply this for all of them, only for some letters. How can we apply this? We apply this by removing the first letter completely. So we do not pronounce the first one, and we pronounce the second one with shadda. So once we find this rule, like a place to apply this rule, the first letter will be completely removed. We will not pronounce it. The second one will be pronounced with shadda, means will be doubled. Just a quick example before we go forward. Here, this word, we pronounce عدتم. عدتم. I go from the ain to the ta. I will not say this dal. عدتم. I don't say عدتم. I say وإن عدتم عدنا. See this? عدنا is okay. I can say the dal here. But here, I completely remove the dal and only pronounce ta with shadda. عدتم. And we will come, inshallah, to this set of letters and which kind of letters that we need to do idgham. But for now, what I need you to know is where to perform this idgham in the book. So this set of letters is a lot of letters, and they have some specifications. And I don't think it's very important for like the first level to know it. Just for your level, make sure that you know when to perform idgham in the book. When to perform it. So what I'm going to give you, inshallah, this time is the sign of this merging. There is a sign in the book. If you see it, you will know that you will do this merging in the letters. And this sign is the first letter is completely empty of movements. There is no movements above or under it. And the second letter has shadda, like here. So this dal is completely has no movement, empty. And the second one, the ta, has shadda. Here is the sign to do this idgham, to do this merging. So I will say وَإِنْ عُدْتُمْ عُدْنَا وَإِنْ عُدْتُمْ عُدْتُمْ. I don't pronounce this one at all. I made merge. I merged this one into the ta. Yeah. This is called al-idgham al-kamil, a complete idgham. There is another type of idgham called partial idgham. I will not go into it, inshallah, this lecture. We will do it later in the course. But for now, what I need you to do, when you see a completely empty letter with a letter with shadda after it, you will do merge. You will completely not pronounce this one, and you only pronounce the next one. We will show some examples. In this example, we see that ta here, ta is empty, nothing above or under it, and dal is with shadda. So here I will say أجيبت دعوتكما. أجيبت دعوتكما. I will not say the ta. You can notice that the two letters here have some similarities, while like ta and dal, dha and dal, these kind of letters. So the set of letters I will not go into, just I need you to know this. Here, وقالت طا. See, I go from lam to ta. وقالت طا. I will not say وقالت طا. I will not say the ta here. Ta has nothing above or under it, and the next letter with shadda. Next example, عصوا وكانوا. عصوا وكانوا. This one I don't pronounce. If you remember from the last lesson, this one is silent because there is a circle here. So this one is completely empty. This one with shadda. So I will say عصوا وكانوا, not عصوا وكانوا. I will not pronounce the two waw here. Same thing with lam with ra. بل رفعه الله إليه. بل رفعه. بل رفعه. From ba, we go to ra. We will not pronounce this one. Next example, ألم نخلقكم. ألم نخلقكم. See what I did here? I went from lam to kaf. نخلقكم. نخلقكم. I did not say qaf. I did not say نخلقكم. I did not say this one. Yeah. And another rule that goes under this rule is al. So al, there's two type of al. If you study Arabic, you will find that there is two type of al. Al in the word ash-shams and al in the word al-qamar. So what happens in ash-shams, we do not pronounce the lam. Like an-nahar, we do not pronounce the lam. I go from alif to noon. An-nahar, an-nahar. You will also find it this way in all the book. All the letters that have the same, like ash-shams, the same pronunciation of the alif lam, you will find it written like this. Same thing. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا. This is just to show you the difference between this alif lam and this alif lam. This lam, actually we pronounce al-qamar. I pronounce the lam here, al-qamar. But in these two, I don't pronounce the lam. I say an-nahar. This is complete idgham. Ash-shams. This is complete idgham as well. I got a question. Would it not be easier to not write the lam at all? It will be easier for reading, but for understanding, it's not, because alif lam is like the or the, or in Dutch, day of het. So this is when you make something indefinite a definite thing. So it's very important in Arabic to add alif lam at the beginning of the word. So we add alif lam, and in some letters we don't pronounce the lam, and some of them we pronounce, like ash-shams and al-qamar. Yeah, so we cannot take off the lam completely. We just keep it like empty, and then we put shut down the next letter so that you can know that this is complete idgham. Yeah, maybe easier for another question, but if you speak, no one knows what you mean. I don't understand. I don't understand English. Sorry. If you speak, no one knows what you mean. Like we shams. I don't understand the question, brother. We can go forward. Yeah, we can talk in the practice, inshallah. like here, والشمس, we said that we don't pronounce the lam here because it's an empty letter, and then we have a shadda after. والنهار, same thing. Al-Qamar is not in this like rule because it is not an empty letter, and this one is not with shadda. So this is the second information that I need to give in this lecture. The last one is called stable noon and tanween. And this, inshallah, we will cover in the next this lesson and in the next 2 lessons, inshallah. Brother Tariq, you can send me one more time. I have like 1 more minute. Please ask the question. I'm sorry. You are translating. Yeah, I can understand it's a little bit frustrating with Arabic is not like a straightforward language. So we can talk a little bit in the practice part, inshallah. Yeah, we go forward, inshallah. So these stable noon and tanween rules is called أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين. And stable noon and tanween, this is my translation. You can find another translation in another, if you follow another teachers. But for now, in Arabic, it's called أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين. Why are we studying أحكام النون الساكنة والتنوين? Because it's very common and it has its own rules to follow when the noon is stable, the letter noon is stable, and also the tanween. First, we're going to define the stable noon and tanween. So the stable noon is a noon and it's stable, right? We can know from the name, and it's in the Quran. You will find that the noon has one of 3 shapes when it's stable, right? One of these shapes is an empty noon, and the next shape is the noon with ha, as you can remember from the last time, and the last one is noon with meem on it, like this. Noon with meem on it. And you can remember that we said that the small letters, you need to pronounce the letter at the top. So this is the case here, but we will not go to this one in this lecture. Inshallah, it will be next lecture. But for now, you have 3 types of writing the stable noon. An empty letter, a letter with ha on it. This is common between all letters, and a letter noon with meem on it. Yeah. So this is the cases of the stable noon in the Quran. The tanween, we already mentioned that there is 3 types of writing the tanween, right? And I here give you some examples, and just to show you here, عليم بذات الصدور, this is tanween. كرام بررة, this is tanween. See kasra with meme, this is tanween. So this type of writing the tanween. Here, حريص عليكم حليما غفورا ولكل قوم هاد. As you can see here, this is this kind of writing the tanween. حريص, حليما, see the lines are exactly above each other, and then قوم هاد. And the last example is for this type of writing the tanween. لرؤوف رحيم مبصرة لتبتغوا يومئذ ناعمة. So now we defined the stable noun and the tanween. I just need to to make one point. Why are we doing the same thing with the stable noun and the tanween? Because the tanween has a stable noun at the end of it. Just bear with me for 1 minute. When I say alimun, alimun, see what I said? I put at the end of the tanween, there is noon, alimun. Same thing, harisun. See the noon at the end? This is considered a stable noun. That's why we always put stable noun and the tanween with each other. Because once I said tanween, رؤوف, رحيم, مبصرة. All of them, all the tanween, we have a noon at the end. So we consider the noon at the end of the tanween as a stable noon. Yeah. And then what happens in these rules? What happens that we are going to behave differently with the stable noon and the tanween depending on the next letter. So we have stable noon and the tanween. Once we find a stable noon or a tanween, we are going to look at the next letter. And then we are going to do something different for every set of letters. Yeah. Inshallah, it will be easy. And with this typing, we are writing them the different ways just to make it easier for to recognize what to do when you find a stable noon or tanween. So for now, we have 3 ways of writing a stable noon, 3 ways of writing tanween, and inshallah, this lecture we will only discuss one of them. Yeah. So stable noon and tanween, we have 4 kind of rules in this stable noon and tanween. So depending on the next letter, we are going to do one of 4 actions. One of 4 actions, depending on the next letter. The first one is merging. That's why we introduced merging at the beginning of the lecture. So the first one is idgham. So initially, once you say idgham, means that the first letter will not be pronounced, which in this case is a stable noon and the tanween. And then the next letter will be pronounced with shaddah, as we went through in the previous slide. So in idgham, what I do, the first letter will be completely ignored. I will not say it, and the second letter will have shaddah, right? And this rule happens when I have stable noon and tanween, and I have one of these 6 letters after it. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, noon. Yarmalun. This word contains of 6 letters, and if I see one of these 6 letters after the stable noon and the tanween, I'm going to do merging. I'm going to completely do not say the stable noon or the tanween and do shaddah on one of these letters if they follow stable noon and the tanween. And we will go to examples, inshallah. If in case you're a little not following, we'll go to the example to make everything clear. And the shape of this rule, idgham, of merging, that this is a sign in the book that the stable noon and the tanween will be written like this. So the noon will be completely empty. That's also a sign for merging. And the tanween will be written like this. 2 dhamma or 2 fatha far from each other, or 2 kasra far from each other. So once I see this on a stable noon and a tanween, I look at the next letter. If it is one of these, which can be one other than this, if you see the sign, it can be these 6 or other letters. So I have to see one of these letters. If I see one of these letters, I will do merging. Yeah, and merging in this case will have 2 different types. We call one with tone and one without tone. We will go to examples, inshallah. Just bear with me 1 minute. What we have now, if I have stable noon and tanween, I look at the next letter. If it's one of these 6 letters, you will find that the stable noon and the tanween will be written like this, and you will do one of 2 things. I do merging with tone or without tone. We go into details, inshallah. So the first one is doing merging with tone. So we now agreeing that we have 6 letters that we do merging with. With tone is one of these 4 letters. Ya, noon, mim, waw, in the Arabic word yanmu. And I do with tone. That means the first letter which has the tanween, the tanween itself, I do not pronounce the tanween. The next letter will have shadda, and I'm going to perform a tone. Yeah. Here in the example, here the word is yawma'idhin. Yawma'idhin. See the noon at the end of the tanween, I will not pronounce it. So it will be يومئذ يصدر. يومئذ يصدر. What I did is I completely ignored the noon in the tanween and I put shaddah on this one. يومئذ يصدر. And this one with tone. So I have to say يومئذ يصدر. So see this غنة إذ يصدر. Why? Because it's a tanween and there is a ya after it. And ya is one of these 4 letters. Next example. الذي جمع مالا وعدده. So مالا, I will not say the noon at the end of the tanween. And I will put shaddah on this one and perform a tone. مالا وعدده. مالا وعدده. See the tone that I'm doing? That's because it's one of these 4 letters, merging with tone. ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. So here, if I'm not doing merging, I will say عابد. عابد. I'm not saying عابد. I'm saying عابد ما. Instead of saying the noon at the end of the tanween, I will go directly to the meem. عابد ما عبدتم. ليلة القدر خير من. Here, if I'm not doing merging, I will say خير من. But because this is meem and this is tanween, I will ignore the noon in the tanween and will go forward. خير من. What I did is merging with tone. Yeah, here comes the noon. All of them are tanween. Here comes the noon. Meem masad. See this meem? I did not pronounce the noon. I did merging. So I went forward from meem to meem. Meem masad. في جيدها حبل من مسد. حبل. I did not say حبل. Why? Because it's merging. This is meem. So I will say حبل من مسد. Here, noon. Just I will take like 10 seconds for everyone to look at this one and see the stable noon and the tanween. Just so we have how many stable noon we have? We have one here and no stable noon. And how many tanween we have? We have one here and we have one here. This stable noon has ya after it, so this will be merging with tone. This tanween has sheen after it. We did not take anything with the sheen letter, so it is not merging. This tanween, the final one, has ya after it. So this is also merging with tone. So here I will say وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. So going from meem to ya. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. Why didn't I say وَمَن يَعْمَلْ without tone? Because this one is merging with tone. So I have to say وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. وَمَن يَعْمَلْ. Here, شَرًّا يَرَهُ. I did not say شَرًّا. The noon at the end of the tanween, I completely forgot about it and I went to ya. And this ya, I made a tone with it. شَرًّا يَرَهُ. I hope it's clear. Inshallah, with practice, this will come. So for now, what did we learn? We learned that if I have a stable noon and the tanween, and it has one of these 4 letters, I will perform merging with tone. And we did some examples. Inshallah, we have more examples in the practice part. There is some exception for this. You do not need to remember this information. It will be clear because you will not find the sign that we talked about. So the sign that the noon is completely empty and the tanween is written this way, You will not find it in this exception. So the first exception, that the noon does not merge into waw or ya if it's in the same word, and you will know this exception without any effort, because you will find the noon has ha on it. So if the noon is not empty, if it's empty and there is waw, then you will do merging. But for this one, it's as ha. So it will be qinwanun. Qinwan. I will say the noon here. I will not do merge. If there is merging, I will say qiwanun. Yeah? But now it has to be shown. Qinwanun. Yeah, sinwanun, the same thing. So if I have waw or ya in the middle of the word and there is a stable noon before it, I will not do merge. And there is a sign in the book just to show you that there is no merging here. Bunyanun, the same thing. Noon, stable, and a ya after it. So here I will not perform merging. Yeah. And there's two other cases that are unique, and there is no merging in them. Here in Surah Al-Qalam, Noon. See here, Noon. I will say the final Noon here. Noon wal-qalami wama yasturun. Because there is here, when I say Noon, there is a stable Noon at the end of it, and there is Wow. So here we will not perform merging. This is exception. Here is the same thing. Yasin. See the Noon at the end? I will not merge it in the Wow here. So if I'm going forward, I will say Yasin wal Qur'anil Hakim. I will not say Yasin wa. I will not do merging here. Yeah, this is the two exceptions in this case. The final one is the merging without tone. And if you remember the word that we used to say at the beginning, yarmalun, ya, ra, mim, lam, wow, noon, we took 4 letters of them. That leaves us with 2 letters. So merging without tone will only happen if I have ra or lam after a stable noon and the tanween. What mean merging without tone? That I will completely ignore the stable noon and the tanween, and I will say the next letter without any tone. Here, ar-ra'ahu, ar-ra'ahu. I did not do any tone here. I went from alif to ra. This is complete idgham. Ar-ra'ahu, no tone, right? Waylul, waylul likulli humazatil lumazah. Waylul. I will not say waylun li. Waylun li. This is not idgham. So I need to ignore the final noon in the tanween. I will say waylul li. Waylul li. Same thing with humazatil lumaza. Humazatil lumaza. Not humazatin lumaza. This is the final noon in the tanween. I will not say it. Humazatil lumaza. Yusqawna mir rahiqin. Mir. From mim to ra. Completely ignore this one. Mir rahiqin. Inna rabbahum bihim yawma'idhin lakhabir. Yawma'idhin idhin lakhabir. Here we have here stable noon, here a stable noon. This one has lam after it. This one has ya after it. This one is a merging without tone. This one is a merging with tone. This is a very good example to show the difference between them. So here what I will say, the first one is without tone. Allan. Allan. The second one is with tone. لن يقدر. So see the difference between without tone and with tone. ألن. No tone here. ألن. Then with tone. لن يقدر. So the complete will be أيحسب أن لن يقدر. Both merge. This noun I did not say, and this noun I did not say. But this one I did not perform a tone. This one I performed غنة, tone. أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه. See, 2 words, but if you know the rules, you will know that there is big difference between pronouncing this and pronouncing this. It depends on the next letter, of course. Now, this is the end of today's lesson. I think I have a question. Yeah, this is good explanation. If we leave out the preposition, this is about the alif lam part. If we leave out the preposition, al or day of het in Dutch, when writing, the context will change if I understood it correctly. My question was, since we by rules, we don't pronounce these prepositions upon reading, how would any listener know the context then? Sorry, my English came too short and I use translator. Oh, no problems. So brother, while studying Arabic, we know that there is lam there, but we just don't pronounce it. So there is some letters if we have at the beginning of the word and we put alif lam before it just to make it definite, we know that we are not going to say the lam, but it has to be there. Yeah, it's something like this, like day of het in Dutch. You can never find an explanation for that, right? Yeah, so it's the language. You have to learn it like this. So yeah, I hope it's clear. Now we go to the lesson summary. So what we did today, I will summarize in 3 points. 3 points, right? The first one is the Meem and Noon with Shaddah. So if you ever find Noon and Meem with Shaddah, you do complete tone. And we did examples on that. The next one, if you find any letter, but it has to be not stable Noon or tanween, right? Because stable Noon or tanween had their own. So if you find any empty letter, completely empty letter, and there is shadda on the next letter, you do complete merging. Then I have a question, does the discussed rule hold in the phrase ashhadu alla ilaha illallah? Yes, brother, Allah. If you find someone saying ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah while reading Quran, it's not I don't know, it's not possible, because an la, there is stable noon and then lam after it. So this is merging without tone. You'll say ashhadu alla, alla, go from alif to lam, alla. Yeah. I see a small ha on the noon. What's the small ha? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. What's the small ha? Oh, in the noon of an, ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah, the small ha, this is the circle, right? If there is a circle, that means that this letter is silent. So you go from alif to lam. Allah. Yeah. So ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah, this is not like good to hear like in Arabic context. So it's better to say Allah. It's a merging between anna, la. So we say Allah. So we go back to the lecture. The first one, noon and meem with shadda, complete tone. The second one, empty letter, any empty letter with shadda. In the next letter, you do complete merging. You completely forget about the first letter and then you do the second letter with shadda. Third part is stable noon or tanween, written this way with one of these letters, yarmaloon, after it. Yarmaloon is the word in Arabic. That's why we do not put like 6 letters after each other. Yarmaloon is a word in Arabic. So just we put it this way to memorize the 6 letter of idgham. And then if it's yanmu, it will be merging with tone. Yeah. If it's ra or lam, it will be merging without tone. That's all I need to add in this lecture. So I think we are 2 minutes late. Homework is same as the last time. Go over the slides. Go back to the page that you chosen from the last slide. I hope you did it. I hope it's very important to practice. Recite the pages you have chosen. Record yourself while reciting. Apply the rules as much as you can. If you have one more page, it will be okay. if you want to send like to the teacher, or if one of the brothers need to send me, yeah, I think my number is in the group. Just send me if one of the brothers need to recite and need me to correct him. I'm always welcoming. But this one, all need to do. At least record yourself just to see the progress, right? Every time you go back, and inshallah we're going to change pages next time. So every time you go back, you just feel that there is something more understandable. There's something like there is a little bit of light. Okay, I understand why it's written this way. I understand what to do in this case. Yeah. One question: is it okay to only recite Juz Amma for now, or longer surahs necessary? Brother, Juz Amma is very good for today's lesson, but for the last lesson we discussed stopping rules. So Juz Amma, like all the ayahs are like, not all of them, like 99% of Juz Amma ayah are just one line or less than one line. Then you will not know. Yeah, but um, for this lecture, you can go Juz Amma. Just for the last lecture to practice the stopping rules, go a little bit further. Open Surah Al-Kahf or Surah Al-Baqarah or Surah, I don't know, Maryam, or something that you hear a lot here and there, just to be familiar with it. And you practice on like bigger ayahs, bigger verses. For this lecture, today's lecture, Juz Amma is more than enough, mashallah. Just make sure that all the things that you used to, if you used to do something wrong, go back and look at the lectures and try to apply as much as you can, inshallah.